Coming here and sitting, practicing meditation is one aspect of it, but that's not the entire thing. This is one part of doing meditation. But as you have known, the walking is also part of meditation. Eating, the normal eating that you do, is also part of meditation. So all these are part of meditation itself. Because when you eat, you experience some things you like, some things you don't. When you talk, some things you like, some things you don't. When you keep silent, you may like something or you may not. When you walk, so all the actions that you do, your mind is still working. Mind is still trying to like something or dislike something. Mind is busy. So first to be aware and then to know it thoroughly. This is all meditation. Everything. I always say this, that we have these six senses. The Buddha has again and again mentioned six senses. Eye is there, ear is there, nose and tongue and body and mind. And then eye can interact only with the visible things. Ear can only interact with the sound. And nose can only interact with the smell, like this. Each one has one object outside. And mind can only interact with the mental things, thoughts and feelings and ideas and perceptions. But mind cannot deal with something this. So when it thinks about visible things, when it thinks about sound, it takes a mental image. This one, nice. Eye does not have a thinking power. Ear does not have a thinking power. Mind can think. Mind can pass judgments and think and say, this is good, I want this is not good, I want to push, want to discard it. So the mind is passing those judgments. And why mind passing those judgments? Because the basis of the functioning of the mind for most people is predominantly, mainly, ignorance, wrong idea, wrong view. Wrong view, this will give me happiness. This will give me unhappiness. Mind is tied to ignorance. And when the mind is tied to ignorance, it is also tied to craving and aversion. So it is default mechanism for most people to pass judgments about things. About things, this could be pleasant or this could be unpleasant. This could be desirable or this could be undesirable. And this judgments, when you have developed the knowing element, you develop the knowing element. Oh, this is craving, this is aversion. But this craving and aversion, that is default mechanism working, is it really happiness, bringing happiness or not? Is it really creating the freedom of mind or not? Is it really creating freedom from suffering or not? This is what the knowing element will tell you. When you slowly develop this, it will tell you. It will take time. For everybody, it takes time. But this is what we have to develop in our meditation. We have all kinds of experience. Sometimes the mind goes through very deep peacefulness. Sometimes it goes through restlessness, all kinds of things. But then we are not here to say every time it should be peaceful, it should not be restless. This is not why we meditate. We don't meditate just to be peaceful. Sometimes people can be very peaceful in their meditation. very, very peaceful. But when they come out of their meditation and encounter unpleasant things, they can be very angry or irritated or agitated or unhappy. So, this is not a solution. When the Buddha was teaching about meditation, Buddha was teaching us not just to be peaceful when you are sitting, but to know the things correctly. This is one state of mind. And if you depend on it too much, this peacefulness, let it be all the time, let it be all the time, then it will, and eventually it will go away, because you will experience other sensory objects which are unpleasant. And then when you will forget it. And when you will forget it, you will have suffering. So the Buddha was telling you must develop the knowing element, the knowing element that allows us to see through all these things, all these so-called idea of happiness, unhappiness, pleasant, unpleasant, desirable, undesirable. We have to. Then we know, this is not useful to get angry or fight or shout or hate or like or anything. It's not. Because this is not freedom from suffering. This is trying to avoid suffering and developing another type of unsatisfactoriness. So people, they want to eat something, they like to eat something, they eat that, and after eating, after some time, again and again, few days they eat, they get bored of it, and then they say, no, no, I don't like this, I will eat that thing, and then they eat that, and after some time they get bored again or unhappy. So it is like this. You are not understanding that mind just says this or that, but this or that, freedom from suffering does not come. What you want to eat and what you would like to eat today and what you like to eat tomorrow and what you like to eat day after tomorrow are just food, just edible things. That's not where the happiness lies. When the mind has no craving, then whatever the food, it is taken as food. That's all. Taken as food. So it doesn't say, this one tasty, I want more. This one not tasty, I don't want more. This one desirable, this one undesirable. It takes it as food and then let go. Because it doesn't have any special value. This is very good, this is very bad. All these labels we add. But if you have the knowing element, your labels will fall off. Then you will know neither is this good nor is that. Both are just phenomena that changes, nothing special. So this is the knowing element. So now as you meditate, and you will meditate another few days, when you are sitting or walking or eating or doing anything, you do it awareness. Also, when you do it awareness again and again, then you will see mind will also know the things inside out, really, what it is, what it is. So this is the knowing element that you must develop. This is the thing, this is the quality of the mind that will make your mind truly wise. Wisdom means to know things as they are, body as the body, changing, nothing special. Whatever body, this one, mine, or yours, or anything, it's just this body. Can we say this one is special, this one will not become old, this one will not fall sick, this one will not break apart, this one will not die? It is not possible to say like this. Nobody can be like this. Everybody is same. So to know that correctly is the wisdom. Aging and sickness and death, it comes to all beings, today or tomorrow. That's how they are. So there's no need to think, oh, other people may get this, but I will not. This is wrong idea. This is wrong view. This is not wisdom. This is ignorance. Sound together. Like this, if you develop, then slowly your meditation will take you deeper and deeper and deeper. So with this, I will conclude today's talk. Anybody has questions here? If anybody want to ask question from online, then you have to wait. First, we will give preference to all the people here in the meditation hall, and then maybe people in online can ask questions. Anybody here has questions, you can ask.
Of the participants of we're all participating for the session for the Brahma
They have become monks, temporary monks. So they will have to follow more rules than you are following. And they have to live a life as a monk for these few days. You are also participating in the course, but they are living as a monk, you are living as a layperson. So the number of rules are different, number of observations are different. And of course, being a monk means the state of mind also should be different, a mind of renunciation, a mind that is not, so that when they are ordained for how many days it is important not to think about anything else rather than being a monk, not to think about what happened to the house, what happened to the people in the house, what happened to anything else, but to think this is my life at least for some days, and this is the life I will live fully, and don't not worry or bother about anything else.
This can also take volunteer.
But anybody can take it provided you make a request.
I just heard somewhere a moment of awareness. There arises 17 different kinds of mind in just one single moment. I don't know what those 17 kinds are, but how would we know? Like, at least can you just brief about it? Just a moment.
First of all, now it is not important. It's not important to think. First of all, it is not important to think about all those 17, these, that. It is not important now. First point. Second point, because you are trying to develop the awareness, clear understanding. Secondly, this much you understand. When you are interacting with the world, how do you interact with the world? You see something, you hear something, like your senses are interacting with the world. When your senses are interacting, sense is there, and then sense, and then there is a object which is matching with that sense. For example, if there is sound and ear, it will match. But if there is your eye, you're looking, but there is no sound, there is no match. So sense object, sense organ inside, sense object outside, and then you have a mind element. The mind is active. Mind is active, so you are using your mind, mental element, consciousness element. So man chakku vinyana, eye consciousness. And when you use these things, then what you call, you encounter a sight, you encounter a smell, you encounter a taste, you encounter a sound, and then mind thinks about it. process. This one, what it is. This is something that I already know. I have never seen this. I have seen this. This is pleasant. This is unpleasant. This is desirable. So using existing perception. And then it will have a feeling, pleasant feeling, unpleasant. You see something you like, pleasant and unpleasant. So then you will automatically have feelings. And then you will, depending on those feelings, where at that point of time, if you have wisdom, then you will know the feelings are impermanent. When the feelings are impermanent, then automatically you will not oh, I want to get this, I want to, this desire, this rush of your mind, this craving will not come. If you don't know, then you will say, oh, it's so good, I want this right now. It will come. So, like this, your mind works. This is the basic. Of course, there are more things, but if you understand these things, at least enough for the time being. Anybody else has question? Those who want to ask questions, please raise your hand online in Zoom. Anybody has question here?
There are like billions of processes happening in an instant. How do they, how do we, keep that mental calmness?
Right. We all have these six doors and through which we are interacting with the world. But, and so when we meditate, it's like a preparation. Meditation that you do, we all do, is like a preparation. What we do in meditation when sitting in the room is to not to use our eye and ear and nose and tongue and body, but to use our mind door. Only the door of mind, it is open and things are coming and we are seeing. So it's a practice. It is a skillful practice that you are doing. And when you develop this practice again and again, and you go outside in the world, you will have many things, something to see, something to hear, so many things. But then you don't use, first point is, when you are outside in the world, you also have to be careful not to mindlessly use your sense organs. You see something, you look left, you see something, you look right, and then back and front and this and that. If you do like this, then your mindfulness will never grow. So you have to have, whatever you are looking, you must know. Whatever you are hearing, you must know. So this is a one way of training the mind through the use of restraint, through the use of mindfulness in the outside world. And also, as you train yourself, automatically the mind door will be there, active. When you are seeing and hearing and smelling, mind door will be active, because mind is trying to use the things to judge, to make a decision, to do this and that. So when the mind door is active, then you have to train yourself to go to the mind door for a short time, maybe, but to see what is happening, and then come back to the object outside, and then again. So, like this. So, it's a matter of training. And so, where the craving will come, how the craving will come, seeing what craving will come, hearing what craving will come. So, this is a matter of training. This is not something that you will develop overnight or in day or two or three or anything. It will take you a lot of time. That's why it is not easy for people to let go of the sensual desires, because it's a matter of training to understand the sense and the objects and the feelings and their interactions, the suffering. It is not easy, the whole process. But then it is like a preparation. When you are sitting and meditating, it's preparation. When you are going outside, you are using your preparation to test. You're testing that preparation, and then you come back again and you do it. And so you have to keep doing it so that your preparation is good enough, and it can, even in the middle of many things, you can go to the mind door instead of eye door, because eye ear is open, but you cannot use it just like this. If you use it just like this, then you are getting distracted, and you will not have any way of knowing things. It's like a child. If the child is busy playing with, like, say, 10 or 20 different toys, the child has no idea which one is good, which one is not good, which one is useful, which one is not. But if it just plays with one toy again and again, then it will know in and out of it. The difference between mind and brain is primarily a physical thing which is existing inside our skull, and it has a huge nerve system, neurons, and using electric signals, and all the processing and this and that, and analyzing. So a lot of functions basically. But the mind is not a physical phenomena. Mind exists along with the body, but then mind is not physical. So brain and mind can be connected, are connected, in fact. Brain and mind are connected. But then mind is getting conditioned by the signals that brain sends. But and the brain is also getting conditioned by the tendencies that mind has developed, either ignorance or wisdom or right understanding or wrong understanding. Yeah. So with the practice of meditation, now it is scientifically proven, many research, with the practice of deep meditation, the nature of brain function also changes substantially from a normal person to a deep meditator. So, which means when person is meditating, the state of mind, the qualities of the mind, the various characteristic of the mind are undergoing transformation, which is also transforming the nature of the brain function. So brain and mind are related, but brain is a physical thing which is connected to the body. Mind is purely immaterial, non-physical object, which which is there with us, but it is not physical body or brain. Apart from physical body or brain, they are conditioning each other all the time, interlinked, and they are creating new conditions for each other to change in a good way, in a bad way, whatever.
Lain sih Wandi. Iya, iya.
Before we take online, we'll take all the questions here first. Any other question? Yeah?
When there is a kusala happening and it's happening, it has to result in the kusala. The result will be a kusala itself. It can't be kusala result. So when I'm aware of the kusala karma, it's already too late. It's already like, I mean, just for example, it's already committed through any of the senses. It's already committed. And doing kusala can cancel the effect, or it will give me the effect like.
When an action is done with ignorance, with craving, with greed, aversion, etc., mainly with the greed, aversion, etc., then it will be, we say it's an unwholesome action, and it will lead to something that is unpleasant, result which is unpleasant. So that is one part. Then later on, if we do something wholesome, we cannot all the time say it will reduce the impact of the unwholesome, or it will not, because there are infinite number of permutations and combinations in the law of karma. So it is never like you do this either here 2, there 2, 2 minus 2, 0. It doesn't work like this. Yeah? Because it can be very different objects. This may be salt, that may be sugar. So they are not really nullifying each other. You know? So like this. So it can be many endless number of permutation combination. So we cannot say that one good action will negate the other bad action or something like that. It can, but sometimes it can also happen. It depends. It depends on various causes and conditions. The other existing conditions, the present situation, the support system, whether it is favorable, unfavorable. It can be many things. So you cannot. But yes, one thing the Buddha says is, if people develop these Brahma Viharas, Metta, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekha. These are the qualities that the Buddha tells people to develop: loving kindness and compassion and sympathetic joy, being happy in other people's happiness, not opposite of jealousy. And then the equanimity, the upekha, letting go, not clinging, not getting stuck with things, letting go, equanimity, being with a balanced mind. So these are the 4 qualities the Buddha said if a person develops again and again, again and again, then many unwholesome tendencies, many unwholesome actions or their effects can be reduced. Can be. It is possible.
But together, all those 4 conditions we need to meditate.
Of course. We need to meditate and we need to be aware all the time. Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekha.
It is how much is physical from this perspective.
The real happiness is neither physical nor mental. It is beyond body and mind. So when we say this, there are these 4 noble truths that the Buddha has talked about. First noble truth, he says, there is suffering. Physical, mental, these, that, some kind of unsatisfactoriness, some kinds of problem, whatever it is. Then second, he says, there's a reason why people suffer. And the reason is these ignorance and craving. People don't know what they should do with the things. So they try to grasp and they try to crave. And then the things change. And then they become unhappy. And then they go to somewhere else and they do that same thing. And then they become unhappy again. So they never find happiness. They just chase things and find one unhappiness and then afterwards another unhappiness. It's like people, when you are a monk, you have to sit properly. You cannot sit like that. So when they're chasing things, For example, somebody says you pass 10 standard, and then they pass 10 standard. And then they say you should also pass 12 standard and get good marks. They go do that. Then they should do some graduation or some technical course or something. They do that. And then a post graduation, then they do that. Then they do some other things, or they get a job, or they have. So people are one after the other there. But none of this is happiness, because if 10 standard is happiness, then no need to do anything more. If 12 standard passing is happiness, then no need to do anything more. Then graduation is happiness, no need to do anything more. But none of these things are happiness per se. So that is second noble truth. People chasing the things but not finding the happiness. Then first, the third teaching, noble truth, the Buddha says, when you understand this point that you are just chasing, and your mind of chasing stops, it doesn't change, you just let go of this craving, it doesn't chase anything, it just stops. Then whether what happens to world, what happens to this body or mind, nothing really matters, because your mind has stopped. So the stopping of mind is the happiness. And so this is happiness beyond body, beyond mind. Body will change, mind will change. So the tendency to run, to chase, to be this or to be that, or to be like this or to be like that, when everything comes to an end, this is what the Buddha says, happiness. Then there is nothing more to get, nothing more to lose, nothing more to say this should be good, that should be bad, this should remain, this should go away, nothing. Then it is free, free from all things. This is the happiness beyond mind and matter. You have some more question? No. No. Some question you have. Yeah. The Buddha didn't tell to control the anger. He told us to understand the anger. Anger is one mental state, one emotion in the mind. But then we all experience all kinds of emotions, not just the anger. We all experience different types of emotions. Now, when you are angry, then you lose a lot of things. You lose your peace of mind. You encounter uh, fighting or something, or um, basically some kind of unpleasant situation when you are angry or fighting with people. And this is, we must understand that in the process of getting angry and fighting, our happiness, our peacefulness goes away. So this is why it's like you can be angry, that is your choice. But the suffering that follows after getting angry, that is also your choice. So unless you understand that it will ultimately lead to some kind of unhappiness, it will not lead to perfect happiness, then you will not be able to stop. So when we get angry, then first we have to understand that there is some kind of anger or hatred or bargaining in the mind, and this is coming and this is creating the discomfort, and I want to fight with this person or that person or this thing or that thing. And then the suffering, it is the arising of suffering. Nothing but the arising, as the Buddha says, the arising of suffering. So arising of anger is arising of suffering. So and when you say suffering, who's suffering? You're suffering. Now you understand like this as of now. Later you will understand no, but then preliminary, who's suffering? You're suffering. So then it is not, when we say we are getting angry with other people, it is going outward. But when we say you are you are creating the suffering, then it is coming towards us, our suffering. So the whole direction is different. Anger is directed at other people, but the suffering is directed towards ourselves. So this is the point that Buddha wants us to meditate and understand, that I am suffering. Therefore, I would not get into the anger or go in the direction of anger. I will stop the anger. No, you don't know it. You think you know, but you don't know it. You don't know the suffering. If you know the suffering, then you will not do it. It's like people have diabetes and they say, I know sugar is bad for me. They say like this, no, but they really don't know. They really don't know how much bad it is, how dangerous it is, how their body is getting ruined gradually with more and more sugar. That they don't know. If they know this and how much of suffering it will bring, that they don't know. They say, yes, doctor said, I know sugar is bad for me. It's like this. It's just an imagination, just a concept. It is not knowing. What the Buddha was telling us is to know, to have the real knowing, like the real doctor who knows with every increase in the sugar intake, how worse the body will become internally, how the organs will be damaged internally. So knowing that is the real knowing. So we have to meditate and we have to see that our thoughts and emotions also time to time. Only then you will know. That is the only way of knowing, otherwise not possible.
What's the difference mechanism also sometimes? And is that not a positive?
We think like this. Defense of what? If we ask, defense of what? Defense of this body? Defense of this body? Or defense of exactly what? Defense of whom? Defense of whom, if I ask? What will your answer be?
Children are making noise.
Sorry?
Children are making noise unnecessarily.
Uh-huh.
You just show an expression that you're angry, then perhaps get the signal. And
You can do that without getting angry also. You can talk to them in a way that they will not make noise, but you still don't have to be angry with. Like I'm talking about anger as some kind of aversion, ill feeling. So that I'm talking about that. You can tell them to stop without getting too angry or too heated up. You can manage that. So that is one thing, managing without anger. And another is you can do that with anger or with hatefulness or with aversion or a lot of dislike. That is. So I'm talking about the dislike element. So the dislike element, it brings unsatisfactoriness. One is problem solving. Another is just creating hatefulness inside us. So the problem solving part, no problem. But it says, for example, the Buddha, he was the supremely enlightened person. He also sometimes, if some of his disciples didn't do things correctly, he will scold them. Oh, you should not do like this. This is wrong. He will say like this. But he did it without even one drop of anger. That's how he trained the mind. That's how he became enlightened. So his mind was free from anger. It's just that to control or to stop certain things, he's saying certain things. But is he angry? No, he wasn't angry. The very fact that anger didn't exist in him, when he became enlightened, anger went away perfectly, eliminated from his mind. So our practice is to slowly develop that type of quality.
Building upward and speaking about a mind.
mind is present with body. So I have no pattern. If we transfer our organs to other person, and like blood transfer or organ transfer, will our mind transfer to them?
No, your mind will not get transferred to anybody. Never ever. Mind is immaterial. In fact, when you say our mind, that's also a kind of wrong idea. Your mind, what is your mind if I ask? When you came here yesterday and then you started meditating, and then whole day today you meditated and did other things, that mind and this mind is the same, 100% same, or something has changed? So the mind is changing all the time. So even in this body, that mind we refer to as our mind is also changing. It is not one fixed object. Moment to moment, new thoughts coming, new consciousness coming. So it is changing. So it will not go to some other person. It will not.
Which is superior, mind or body?
Body is something that stays for a certain period of time. For example, some people can live for 80 years, 90 years. Some people can live for 40, 50. Some people dies at the 20, 30 years. And now each one, you can look around and see each one of us have different body. The mechanism is different. The ability of the body to encounter the heat, cold, food and this, and to get nutriment and to manage and to prevent the sickness is very different from each other. Very, very different. Because of the actions that we have performed, we have got different bodies, different actions, different bodies. Now, we cannot really change, for example, now if I have done really good actions and I have a healthy body, now I cannot make it, even if I want. Sometimes some people live with, say, they eat a lot of junk and this and that and still live healthy for 80, 90 years. Some people try to live healthy and even 40 years they die because it is created by actions of the past. So we cannot really, sometimes it is beyond our control basically to do things. We can maintain it to some extent, but not beyond that. 100% control is not possible. In mind also, 100% control is not possible. But the thing about mind is, if we do the right things, if we practice the right things, then eventually mind can undergo transformation, a very big transformation which can bring wisdom and freedom from unhappiness, liberation, basically what we call. So that is the power of the mind that can be developed through through cultivation. Whereas this body, we cannot do much. It will eventually break apart. It has to go. So that way, the mind will be more useful to us. Superior, maybe superior, yes, but more useful to us because it can bring us wisdom and happiness, which the body cannot. Mhm. Somebody asking question, why do we have a changing, shifting mind and craving as possible art of our natural design and strive and struggle to transcend it? No, other there are other beings and human beings. You have to understand. And the mind, the quality of mind is, in fact, in the lower beings, below the human animals, for example, they just live by instincts, what to get food, how to protect that body, because they don't have more than that wisdom to understand that this mind can be changed. I cannot, or you cannot, or anybody cannot teach a dog or a cat, you can change your mind. Not possible. Cat, dog, tiger, lion, cow, buffalo. No, we cannot. We cannot teach them to change their mind. They are living by pure ignorance, craving, aversion. What they like, they just chase it. What they don't like, they just run away. That's how they live. So, this is not a very high or superior state of mind. This is a very basic function. There are beings higher than human beings, some of the divine beings. Their minds are superior. They can think more than the human beings in terms of what is happiness, what is unhappiness, what is right, what is wrong. They can think. Yes. And then there are these human beings like us in between who can also. But the thing is, none of these things, none, whether the higher beings, divine beings, or human beings, or beings in the animal realm, or lower beings, the level of mind, basically the only differentiating factor is the wisdom. And all the beings, except the enlightened people, all the beings who are enlightened except for, or who are close to enlightenment, all other people, majority of the people, if they have come across the Four Noble Truths, if they have come across and they are really trying to understand the Four Noble Truths, only such people you can call them walking on the path of wisdom, whether it is human being, whether it is divine being. Everybody else who has no idea about the Four Noble Truths, they are living instinctively, and they are also creating conditions for bigger and bigger unhappiness. Because if you don't know what is suffering, you don't know how suffering comes. If you don't know what is suffering and how it comes, you can never stop it. If you don't know what is the sickness, how the sickness comes, then can you stop the sickness? No. So except for the people who are thinking or who are trying to understand the Four Noble Truths, everybody else is guided by a big, strong ignorance. And so to say that they're going, the nature is just nature. In fact, the nature also teaches us certain things. For example, if you see the tree, it sprouts, it comes up, the sapling, and then it grows into a big tree, and then it stays for some days, months, years, and then eventually it goes away. Or the leaves in the trees. So it is all changing, anicca. So there are things we can learn from the nature through the knowledge of impermanence, knowledge of unsatisfactoriness. These things we can learn from the nature. But for that also we have to go back to the base of these Four Noble Truths, how the things are working in this world. So anybody thinking or trying to change the mind by applying or understanding or developing the mind to understand these Four Noble Truths, they are the only ones doing it correctly. They are the only ones going with the true wisdom of the nature. Everybody else, whether it is animal, whether it is human, whether it is divine beings, they're all going against the wisdom of the nature. Simple. So, if there is any wisdom, then it has to be within the Four Noble Truths. Because Four Noble Truths is all encompassing. It talks about material things, mental things, and it talks about beyond the material and mental things. So it is all encompassing. So if there is a scope of wisdom, it has to be within the Four Noble Truths and nothing beyond it. So, who is asked? What the question is? So you must understand that the Four Noble Truths, understanding the Four Noble Truths, or developing the practice to understand the Four Noble Truths, is the really worthy thing that anybody can do. Everybody else is just following the path of ignorance. Humans, animals, divine beings, everybody else. Whoever is not doing this is following the path of ignorance. That's what it is. We are not designed to struggle. Struggle comes from our ignorance, and struggle comes from our, we are not, nobody has designed us to struggle. It is our tendency. For example, like today you like to eat sugar, and tomorrow you like to eat sugar, and then you have a sickness after some months or years, diabetes, too much sugar consumption, but then you still like to eat sugar. Then whose fault it is? Your fault. Similarly, today you live with ignorance, you don't do anything about it. Tomorrow you don't live with ignorance, you don't do anything about it. One life you live with ignorance, you don't do anything about it. 1,000 lives you live with ignorance, you don't do anything about it. Whose fault it is? Our fault. So it is, nobody has designed it. It is we who created all these complications in the mind by following the path of ignorance, following the path of craving and ignorance. And then we have complicated things. Now it has become complicated, so that whatever struggle you are saying, because it has become very entangled and very complicated. But you also have to understand, somewhere you must begin. If you don't start today and say, no, I cannot start today, tomorrow. If you say, no, tomorrow also cannot, then you never start. And if you don't start, then you don't end it. Then your suffering never goes away. So you must start somewhere. And when you start after, for example, if you go and play in the dirt, sometimes children go and play in the dirt for a long time. Their full body is full of mud and this and that. And then when they come back, they need to take a bath, which will be little long bath. Maybe the dirt or mud has gone inside the nose, in the ears. So it has to be cleaned thoroughly. So if it has to be rubbed properly. If they don't rub it, it doesn't come out. It doesn't get clean. So it will create sickness. Similarly, if we have created all these entanglements in the mind, we only have to slowly disentangle them. It will take time. And the whole teaching of the Buddha has given, is to disentangle, but to do it gradually, mindfully, slowly. What is the Buddha's teaching about rebirth? The Buddha's teaching about rebirth is something that requires a lot of explanation. Maybe tomorrow's session we will try to talk about it a little bit, because it requires a lot of explanation. It cannot be said in 2-3 sentences. Those who want to ask a question, like maybe tomorrow, today's time is getting over. Those who want to, they can go to the chat section, and next to the chat there is a reaction section, so you can press on that, and you have a hand raise option, raise hand, so you can just do that next time onwards. Any other question? You have anybody here? Anybody has any question? You have a question? Vipassana means to know things clearly. For example, now you had lunch, you had breakfast, then you had lunch. Between breakfast and lunch, you felt a little hungry. After lunch, you feel your stomach is full and comfortable. Now, after 5, 6 hours, you feel again maybe stomach feels hungry, huh? Which means the body is taking the food, digesting it, using it, and then basically there is constant process of change happening in the body. Hunger, feeling, again hunger, like this. When you go outside, cold wind touches you, you feel more cold. When you come inside, sit, you feel less cold. So the feelings are also changing. So all these body and feeling and mind and everything is changing. So when we meditate, we slowly, slowly start understanding that change. It is happening. This change is happening. Body is changing. The mind is changing. So this change, knowing the change, is one part of is developing wisdom. When we say I know the body, means what? The body is changing. That's the real truth of the body. I know the mind. What is that? I know the mind is changing. This is the real truth of the mind. So to know how the things, how the body is working, how the mind is working, the really. But normal people, if say, yeah, I'm getting old, but that's okay. But we don't understand getting old means what? Getting old means getting close to death every day. So every day we are closer to death. Every single day we are closer to death. We are not away from death. When we were born, that time we had one full life, maybe 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, whatever. But then after 20, 30 years, 20 years less, 30 years less, 40 years less, 70 years less than that time. So people with wisdom understand, oh, my time is less and less. Every day it is less. Because it is changing. It will not stop. It will not go back. So this is one. So knowing things as they really are. This is one part of wisdom. There are other things as well. But knowing and then to know if it is changing, what is happening to me then? Am I getting happier? Is this happiness? Is this unhappiness? Is there a way out of unhappiness? If I'm getting unhappy, is there a way out of unhappiness? So to understand these points, it takes time. But to know what is unhappiness, how it is coming, how to stop it, to know all these things. This will come. When we meditate and allow our mind to be peaceful again and again, then eventually our mind can understand, though this is happiness, this is unhappiness, this is wisdom, this is ignorance, this is change, this is not permanent. Mind starts realizing these points. It is already there, but since our mind is not so sharp, but then mind becomes sharp when we meditate and meditate and meditate, then it catches these points. These points does not come from somebody else. It is right there inside us, but then we cannot catch them. So the vipassana is to make the mind sharp enough through the practice of meditation so that we can catch whatever is there, to know the things correctly. That's all. So then we'll conclude. No more questions. And tomorrow, as regular timetable, we'll conclude with the blessings. Sabetyo vivajjanto sabbarogo vinasatu Mate bhavatu antarayo sukhe dekha bhava avivadana silissa niccang vaddhapachayino chattaro dhamma vaddhante ayuvanno sukhang valang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha adho nibbana sampatti minade samiccatu bhavato sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada satti bhavantu te Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sutte bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalang rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sutte bhavantu te. May all of you be happy and peaceful and be able to develop mindfulness and wisdom, and we will meet again tomorrow. अभी मत कर